Hi, Professor Swindle. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I wanted to say happy holidays and happy Thanksgiving, or post belated Thanksgiving. But I did read your post, and I do think that we all need to dig a little deeper as far as when we're turning in our homework, because what you're teaching us is very essential to the workplace. Uh, I had to learn a lot of the Netiquette things that you are referring to, kind of the hard way. I work at Home Depot call center, and the first year I was here, I didn't really understand Netiquette. I understood how to delegate things and tell people what to do because my previous job was a management position. So I was starting at an entry level position. And one of my managers that I really respect, he said that, hey, I noticed with your messages, and I know that you're not um, trying to do this on purpose, but your messages sound more direct. And when you're speaking to a member of leadership, and you need to have a less direct approach to your emails, because your emails come off like, he said, I understand what you're saying in the emails, and I don't get offended by what you say or how you say it, but other people might be more sensitive to it. And I didn't realize that. I mean, until he pointed that out. So I did have like a Netiquette issue. It really took me a long time to break out of the habit of what is it? Break out of the habit of, you know, stop trying to tell people what to do. You're in an entry level position. You need to, make sure what you're doing is correct, and be mindful and request. Requesting and asking questions went a long way, and I had more profound emails, which caused more action or positive action to go my way. For example, I've been promoted twice since I've been here for 4 years, and I know it has a lot to do with how I communicate via email or instant messaging to my peers and members of leadership. I think it's made a great difference because they noticed my attitude was, they could actually tell what my attitude was by my email. And I never, after that one person pointed out what I was doing, and after I corrected that, um, it just, people have an impression of me of being a very positive person, hardworking, trying to learn more, even ambitious, even. But but when I first started working here, there was times where I would receive feedback from a supervisor, and I did not like their feedback. I thought the feedback was subjective, um, personal, too personal, or very vague, like aloof, as if that supervisor didn't know me. We have, where I'm working, over 400 people working here. So I do understand, looking at from the other person's perspective, that maybe they can make generalized statements about me based on observation, but not really speaking to me. So at first, I used to just, oh my God, if I got an email with any kind of negative feedback, and it was constructive, but any kind of negative feedback, I would immediately respond. And I wouldn't proofread my work. I didn't proofread my words, and until after I sent it, I was like, oh my God, wow, I don't think that email is going to get to anybody. I think it's going to go in the garbage because it was just not good. It was not good at all. So I downloaded this application called, it wasn't an application, it was a web page, 101 email etiquettes or netiquettes. So it's 101 ways to be more professional, precise, uh, clear, and just a better way to convey information that I need to convey to a supervisor or a fellow peer. So I do agree with you. I think we should dig deeper, not just for this course. I think we should dig deeper for ourselves. And I I know what you mean. I mean, when you look at certain people's writing, and I've looked at certain emails that I've had to handle from customers, and you can immediately tell that either they had an attitude or they were rushed, um, and really didn't um, convey their ideas in a way that you can actually visualize what they're talking about. Um, so I learned a lot from those people as well. I learned, there's some people that have like maybe an educational gap. They may come from totally different background, culture. Um, there's certain things that there's certain things that I would say universally. There's certain words I use universally in my emails because you never know whether when you're speaking to someone from another culture, whether you are offending them. But if you speak to, in your email in a more universal term, then you run a much lower risk of you offending that person. If you're more formal with your emails, which I am all the time, my managers or supervisors have, said to me, "Hey, girl, how are you?" And "Hey, how are you doing?" I still address them by either, their last name. Sometimes I'll address them by their first name, but I still keep it formal because I feel like nothing can be misconstrued when you formally introduce yourself in the email. You formally express your feelings in the email, and you close your email formally and proofread it and then send it. But when I sent things that, when I was angry about feedback from a supervisor, and I would send it in an angry way, then I kind of felt like, oh, I did such a disservice to myself. Why did I do that? Why did I go there? I went down to a level that I shouldn't have gone. I mean, what if this email was so unprofessional that I lose my job because I'm offending someone else? So I memorized the 101 ways of being of being more etiquette savvy, I guess, as far as producing emails and making sure that those emails are professional. Now, there are situations which everyone has experienced where you receive feedback from your superior and the feedback is negative. Like, it's 100% negative. Your knee-jerk reaction would be, oh, let me hurry up and send them an email right back. Like, what do you mean? What is that supposed to mean? How dare you say that? Or something. So you have those thoughts running through your head, as soon as you see the email. It might even be an email that makes you so frustrated, you have to take a walk. You have to woosah. You have to do whatever you need to do before you respond to that email. I've had situations where I've been told by a manager one thing. Either they said that I wasn't capable of having a supervisor role here, or um, I'm too complacent in my ways, and blah, blah, blah. So instead of just saying, in your mind what you really want to say, is like, what the hell do you mean by that? You want to say, hey, first of all, Mr. or Miss so-and-so, um, thank you so much for the feedback. I really do appreciate it. I never knew that I was this way, or I never knew that, I was not fit to uh, manage other people, and and when you said that, I really want to know what are 3 actions I can take to actually prove to you that I am management material. Or another example would be, if a manager calls you cocky, don't don't even let it get in there. Don't let it get in there. Look at it as it is, and if you disagree with what that particular manager is saying, then you ask them this, for always thank them for their time. Thank that person for their feedback, for their time, to reach out to you. Always do that in the beginning, because that just shows that you're more mindful and respectful of not just yourself, but of the reader. And, I might say to them, I didn't realize I was cocky. I really didn't realize that. And I thank you for bringing that to my attention. Can you give me at least 3 examples of a time when you thought, hey, that is a cocky person, when you looked at me? Or, how, what ways, or how did I make you feel that was uh, that I was cocky? Or what impression, what was a time where your impression of me came to that conclusion? So you always want to rephrase it in a way, in the form of a question, but not a rhetorical question. You don't want to be a rude question. You just really want to know, in what ways can I improve myself? And express that in the email as well. Um, I thank them again at the end of the email. Thank you for saying that there's areas of opportunity that I need to work on, and I definitely want to either have a meeting with you, or we can, a side saddle, which means just coming to my desk and we just talk about what I need to do to improve, and those examples. Because when you have those examples, then you can visualize, oh, wow, maybe that was a good example of a time where I wasn't managing people well, or there's another example of a time where I was cocky, or I had one manager say that I look out for just myself, and I asked, can you give me some examples? And I think one thing, he didn't give me an example, but one thing he did say was that, when I come in to work, I'm very focused on the customer. I am. I'm super focused on getting a first call resolution with my customers. And so what he stated to me was that not only do that, but try to um, look around and see if anyone needs help, offer to help, add if you see them stuck on something, add some, give them an idea of a way to resolve it. Because you want to come off as a person that not only can resolve the issues at hand that I'm dealing with when, a customer calls in, but I can also I can multitask, and I can handle issues with whatever's going on with my other colleagues as far as taking care of the customer, or, even personal things. I've had, because of the change in how I speak or how I write in my emails, I have people that have confided in me at work, and very, very, very personal things that I will never repeat or spill out to someone else. And I kind of felt that I have established myself as a trustworthy person through how I conveyed myself and how I carry myself in my emails. People don't understand how much proofreading is so essential to emails. And please don't get someone's name wrong. That's just the first rule of thumb. And if you can't get the person that you're trying to convey a message to, how is that going to be? You're already starting off on the wrong foot. So before I even send an email, I always make sure that I'm spelling the person's name right. I don't care how many times I've sent emails to this person. I do always check the spelling of their name. That's just a form of respect. And even if that person is on the same level as you, it's just a form of respect. Another thing is, great about proofreading is that you don't want your message to sound fragmented. I had a problem with that. So it was like I would write down half of what I was saying, and the other half was in here. It's in my head. And I was like, don't you get it? Like, now that I read over my emails, like, of course they're not going to get it, because you gave them like half a sentence, and then you're like, they don't get it after half a sentence. No one's going to get it. So, I did, I have to admit, I did finish this kind of last minute, but I did dig deeper, and I went into, I carved this time out so I could really take the time that I needed to um, convey answers to the questions that you had in this discussion, and to really think about some good examples of times where I was sending an email that was just off the chain wrong, or times where, others have sent me an email that was just not going to go anywhere but in the trash because of the proofreading, the fragment, the everything was just, oh my gosh, terrible. But again, I hope this is the conclusion of my rant, and I hope you have a happy holiday. All right, bye.